That's finished. We can't change that. It's in the past. Last week. The same as yesterday. We can't change yesterday. Yesterday is in the past. It's finished. Talking about actions, about things that happened in those time periods, we use the past simple. I went, I had, I took. Now, when we're talking about things that happened in a time period that started in the past and is still true now, we use the present perfect. I have eaten, I have taken. So I'm talking about things like today. Today started in the past, but it's still true now. This week, it started already, it started in the past, and it's still true now. In my life started in the past, and it's still true now. So we use the present perfect. I have gone, I have taken, I have chosen. Now, we don't always mention a time period when we're talking. If we don't, and if the action that we're talking about has a real clear effect on the present, we use the present perfect. A very common example of this is, I've lost my keys. Okay, the action of losing my keys happened in the past, but the effect is very real and clear now, because I don't have my keys, so I can't enter my house. I've lost my keys. Now, the first two rules there, I think, are very clear and very simple, but the third rule, I think that can be quite complicated to think of when you're speaking English, and that's why the tricks that I'm going to teach you today are true now. So, here are the expressions that we use where we need to use the present perfect. So far, so far. We can just simply use the expression so far, or so far today, so far this week, so far this year. For example, we are walking a 5-mile walk. We've walked 2 miles so far, 3 to go. We've walked 2 miles so far. So basically, from the moment we started up until now, we have walked 2 miles. We've walked 2 miles so far. I've had 3 cups of tea so far today. So far today means from the beginning of today up until now. I've had 3 cups of tea so far today. So far this week, I've replied to some students, I've planned a video, I've recorded the video. I'm talking about things that I've done so far this week. All those actions need to go in the present perfect tense. Pretty good, hey? All right, let's look at some more. Ever. When we use the word ever, we basically are saying in my life, which started in the past and is still true now. Or not just my life, but anybody's life, the person that I'm talking about. So I wonder if he has ever been to England. Ever, so we use has been. I wonder if he has ever been to England. Have you ever ridden a motorbike? Have you ever ridden a motorbike? Ever in your life? So we use the present perfect. And just note the position of ever in these sentences. I wonder if he has ever been. He has ever been. Have you ever ridden? Have you ever ridden? So the word ever goes just before the main verb. Ever been, ever ridden. Okay, recently. When we use the word recently, we're talking about a time in the past, a non-specified time in the past, up until now. So we use the present simple. I've been working late recently. I have been working late recently. He's been making a lot of mistakes at work recently. When we use recently, we often use a continuous tense with this, talking about continuous actions that have been happening between a non-specified time in the recent past until now. A very similar word is lately. But with lately, we don't necessarily need the continuous tense. Have you done anything interesting lately? You've been in a good mood lately. What's the story? Okay, and a slightly more formal way of saying lately is of late. He has been struggling with his studies of late, or he has made great progress of late. The next expression is just, and we use this when something has happened a very short amount of time ago. Are you asking me again? I've just told you. I have just told you. Oh, I don't want to go to the bank. I've just been there. I've just been there. Focus on the position of just when we use it in these sentences. I've just been there. I've just told you. Okay? Similar to the word ever, we put just before the main verb. Just been. Just told. Okay, the next word is already. Now you might hear American speakers using this with the past simple, but in British English we use already with the present perfect. Do you want lunch? No, thanks. I've already eaten. Again, focus on the position of already. We put it just before the main verb. Already eaten. You want to watch Frozen again? You've already seen it 10 times. You've already seen it. Already seen. You've already seen it 10 times. Okay, a very similar word to already is yet. The difference is that we use already to talk about the past. We use yet to talk about the future. But in both situations, we need the present perfect tense. Why don't you watch Frozen 2? I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. They're married, but they haven't bought a house yet. Okay, so when you have already or yet in a sentence, use the present perfect. Okay, the next one is since. I haven't seen you since before the pandemic. I haven't seen. The next one is how long. A very common question to ask somebody the quantity of time that something has been true. How long have you lived in your house? How long have you lived in your house? And the last expression that tells us that we need present perfect tense is the expression over the past few days, or over the past few weeks, or over the past few years. With those sentences, we need the present perfect. Over the past few days, they have visited England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. For over the past few years, they've moved country, bought a house, and had 2 kids. They have moved, bought, had. All those verbs need to be in the present perfect tense because we use over the past few years. Okay, well now let's have a look at some expressions that we use which tell us that we need to use the past simple. Let's go. Okay, so remember, we use the past simple when we're talking about things that happened in a time period that has finished. It's in the past, we can't change it. So this week includes now. It started in the past and includes now, but last week does not include now. Last week is in the past and we can't change it. So for those situations, we need the past simple. So here are some other words and expressions which, if you use them, you know that you need to use them with the past simple tense. The first one is ago. This could be 1 minute ago, 10 minutes ago, 10,000 years ago. If you use the word ago, you need the past simple. I don't want a cup of tea, thanks. I had one 10 minutes ago. I had one 10 minutes ago. 10,000 years ago, there were more mammoths on the earth than computers. There were. Okay, so another few words are yesterday, or the day before yesterday, or the day before that. Basically, if we're specifying a specific day that is in the past, and we mention the name of the day, or describe the day, like the day before yesterday, then we need the past simple. What a week! I went to the gym yesterday, I ran 5 kilometers the day before yesterday, and I swam 2 miles the day before that. Not true, but a good example. All right, the next word is when. When I was a kid, when I went to university, when I was 18. If we use when to describe a moment in the past, we use the past simple, because we're talking about a specific time in the past that we can't change. I lived in Yorkshire when I was a kid. I lived. When I was 18, I went to university in Canterbury. I went. When I went to university, I learned Italian from scratch.
Italian.
I learned.
Italy.
Okay, the next couple of
Italian.
expressions
Italian.
are the
Italy.
first time
Italian.
ba 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 or the last time ba ba ba. So the first time I saw you, you were a little baby. For the first time I saw, past tense.